The Lesotho Highlands Water Project, since its inception, has been crowded with corruption and bribery on an international scale. A project spearheaded by the South African apartheid government and Lesotho's military regime back in the early 80s. In 1989, construction of the dam wall began. It faced much opposition from Lesotho locals who were angry over the sale of its country's precious water to neighbouring South Africa. However, construction continued. Today, the water from the dam is strictly controlled, creating an almost impossible process for rural subsistence farmers to apply for the rights to water their crops. Fishing remains a contentious issue. Early project plans were to upskill and train the community and create a local subsistence fishing industry. This line of thinking was quickly replaced with a licensed and regulated trout fish farming industry, further tightening regulation on subsistence fishing. We spoke to a local fisherman on the Katsi Dam for his view on the situation.
My name is Musue Setoa and I'm a resident at Halijoni. I'm a fisherman and I've been fishing since I was a little boy. This is not only for my benefit, but also for the communities. We sell fish to the community, especially to those who do not consume red meat for health reasons. We sell fish at affordable prices to the community, at a price of 5 maluti to 10 maluti. In the beginning, we used to fish without purchasing licenses. Now we are obligated to purchase the fishing licenses. We are restricted to catching 4 fish in a day. The fishing licenses cost 200 malut. We plead with the LHDA to allow the communities to freely fish without any restrictions, especially purchasing of the licenses.
Of course, payment for permits, it's something that happens, all over. These things are not only, being done in the LHDA, reservoirs only, but you go to the Department of Livestock, you want to go and fish anywhere, you'll pay for the permit.
A seismic study conducted for the Lesotho Highlands Development Authority in 1988 concluded that there would be no significant tremors from the loading effect of the reservoir's water on the Earth's crust. For the small village of Mapeleng, they were about to literally feel the truth.
After the filling of the dam reservoir, the village of Mapeleng experienced a seismic shift. It was like an earthquake. The animals were behaving very strangely, and the people were very scared and confused.
Miss Mamakoe Motanya shows us a crack in the Earth's crust that in places is 4 centimeters wide. This crack runs for over 1.5 kilometers up towards what was once the village's local water spring.
Our natural springs dried up immediately, which sufficiently supplied the whole community with water. After the springs dried up, we were supplied with unhygienic water, which caused the entire village, including the children, to fall sick as everyone contracted waterborne diseases.
For 16 years, the village of Mapeleng begged the LHDA to deliver on their promises for a water supply. but no line was ever installed.
As the chief of Mapeleng, Chief Kgetang Kgetang, I feel my people live under oppression and are left vulnerable as a result of the seismic activity. The LHDA promised to compensate us for the inconvenience, but up to now, they haven't done anything. We didn't have water until the Sinudi Legal Center took the LHDA to court. That is when water was restored in 2014, 15 years later.
The once remote mountain communities of the Lesotho Highlands have been changed forever. The reservoir and the remaining phases of this immense project will continue to affect and displace individuals and villages for lifetimes. Not far from the town of Katsi is the village of Mapong. They had also experienced tremors, but theirs the result of blasting to make way for a new road connecting the Katsi and Polihali dams. Tensions further mounted when the village's electricity was cut off. For over a month, requests fell on deaf ears. Businesses suffered, as did the villagers. With no other means of voicing their concerns, they finally turned to protest. For Mompopo, the son of the village chief, and his fellow protesters, they soon learned that the police were willing to use deadly force to crush the protest.
The police instructed me to take off my shoelaces and then tied my elbows. They asked me to roll on the ground. When I refused, they started beating me with large sticks, kicking and punching me until I fell down. They dragged me like a dog to the river. When I got to the river, they tied me again with another rope and instructed me to roll into the water. Every time I rolled further away, they dragged me back into the water. They then dragged me out of the water and told me to roll over the mud. They then took me to the police station and locked me in a cell while I was still wet. I was locked up for 3 days without food or water, and on the third day, I was taken to court, where I learned what I was being charged for. The message I would like to pass on to those in charge of the project is that they should fulfill all the promises they made to the community. Because when they approached us at the beginning of the project, they made all these promises to us. But now when we are demanding all that was promised to us, we are turning out to be the bad guys.
Large-scale projects in developing countries all seem to follow a similar narrative. Get the communities to buy into the project, promise that the infrastructure will lead to vast improvements in lifestyle and benefits. While true, this project may lead to the overall improvement of the Lesotho population as a whole in years to come, it's at the sake of these individuals and close-knit communities who have had their lives changed forever.
Yeah, I mean, there will be impact, and those impacts we are trying as much as possible to minimize. We are trying to have people participate, people to benefit from the project, and we believe that at the end, we'll all be happy that this project is constructed here in this area, and the people will benefit from it. And that's what we believe, and we hope there's going to be more tourism, which is also opportunity for people to, improve on their livelihoods, and That's it. Thank you.